Hey, what is up guys, I'm Andrew Tech. So on this video I'm going to be showing you guys the gear that I use to make these YouTube videos and also the videos that I do outside of YouTube. So today I'm going to be going over the camera that I use, the lens, the tripod, the microphone, and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get right into it. But before we get started, make sure to comment down below in the comments if you guys want to see how I make my videos, so the process where I'm doing the voiceovers, scripting, and all that stuff. So let me know down below in the comments if you guys would be interested in that. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the camera that I've been using is the Panasonic Lumix G7. So it is an amazing budget 4K camera. So let me show you guys the camera that I use. So this is the camera that I've been using to record pretty much all my videos for the past year and a half. And like I said, it's the Panasonic Lumix G7, and honestly it is the best budget 4K camera under $500. It comes with the kit lens as well, but the lens that I'm using right now is the Sigma 18-35, which is probably my favorite lens. I really love this lens. It's a bit pricey. In fact it's a little bit more than the camera body itself. It's around $800, so I got it for around $630, and honestly it's worth every single penny. And the sharpness of this lens is just fantastic, and my favorite thing about this lens is the constant f1.8 aperture through the whole zoom range. So it's just an amazing lens, and honestly this is the best lens that I've ever used. And as for the adapter, I am using the Veltrox M2 Mark II to pair it with the Sigma 18-35, and this is the new adapter from Veltrox, and it's really good as well. You don't sacrifice any sharpness at all. So really love this setup, and honestly this setup is just beast. Even though I am planning on upgrading to the Panasonic Lumix GH5 in the near future. So as far as the microphone, whenever I'm talking in front of the microphone, like in the intro, I use this Takstar SGC 598, and this is probably by far the best budget microphone under $50, and the sound quality that you are getting from this thing is just a really good. Also the battery life on this thing is just amazing. But if you guys want to see the full review that I did on this microphone, make sure to click the link down below in the description, and I'll make sure to put the video review I did on it. But yeah, that's the setup that I use. Sigma 18-35 lens. Also whenever I want to do whenever I want to get like wide angle shots, I do have a 12mm f2.8 lens that I used to use before I got this lens. Also that lens is pretty good as well. But whenever I'm doing or shooting YouTube videos or music videos, especially tech videos, whenever I want to get those super tight macro shots, this is the lens that I use. It's just amazing. And like I said, I am using the Veltrox M2 Mark II, and with this setup you are getting a 1.2 aperture, which is extremely wide. And for that, whenever I'm shooting outdoors, I use a Tiffin variable ND filter. So I actually did a review on it too. If you guys want to check it out, again the links to it will be down below in the description. But yeah, that's the setup. Sigma 18-35, Panasonic Lumix G7, Takstar SGC 598. And as far as the tripod, I don't really have a decent tripod. I have this one right here. I got this. I've been having this one for about 4 years now, ever since I pretty much started this channel. So this is the Sears 469. I don't think that's even the brand. But yeah, this thing is just it's really cheap, as you can tell by the legs. So yeah, it's pretty cheap, and I'm guessing that this is actually, I got this from a friend of mine. He actually gave it to me. So I mean it does the job. At least it does the job. So it works fine for me for whenever I'm doing like A-roll, whenever I'm talking in front of the camera. But I am thinking of upgrading to like a Manfrotto tripod pretty soon. So yeah, that's that. Alright guys, so now that I talk about the camera, the lenses, and all that stuff, let's talk about the audio and what kind of microphone I use whenever I'm doing voiceovers. So the microphone that I use whenever I'm doing voiceovers is the Blue Yeti microphone, which is an amazing microphone under $100. And if you guys are looking for a budget microphone, definitely get this one right here. I've been using this microphone for like 2 or 3 years now, and I have to say the sound quality that you get from this microphone is fantastic. So not only that, but you do have a lot of options to mess around in the microphone. So here in the back you have a gain knob, so so you can basically, you know, increase or decrease the volume depending on how loud you want your sound to be. And then right here at the bottom you have 4 different pickup patterns, which is really nice. So let's say if you are in a room where you just want one person talking, you have the omnidirectional, or you have 4 different pickup patterns, which is really handy. So you can choose which one you want depending on where you are recording at. And then right here in the front you do have this mute button, so you can basically mute the microphone or unmute it. And then here at the bottom you do have a volume headphone knob, which you can basically control the volume of the headphones that you are monitoring. And talking about monitoring, you do have the ability to live monitor your audio via a 3.5mm headphone port. So you can plug in your headphones here and you could, you know, listen to whatever you are recording. And that's pretty cool because you can, you know, you can see if your audio is peaking or not, and it's definitely helpful. And you actually don't get this from like other budget microphones at this price point. So yeah, right here you do have a USB port, so you can basically plug it into your computer. And then right here you have a thread for like a C-stand or something like that. So now that I got the microphone out of the way, let's talk about the computer that I use to edit my videos. So I do have a custom built PC, which doesn't have the best specs out there, but I mean, for the type of work that I do, I mean, the specs are decent, but I am thinking of upgrading it pretty soon. So I'm thinking about upgrading the RAM to 64 or 32 gigs. So the specs that it has right now are Intel Core i7, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. And I mean, like I said, it's not the best specs out there, but it runs Premiere Pro and After Effects pretty smooth in 1080p 60 frames. And also whenever I want to do like 4K, it does handle 4K all right, but whenever you are adding like a bunch of effects and presets and stuff like that, it starts to slow down a little bit. But that's not a big problem for me, because most of the time whenever I'm editing 4K footage, I manually use proxies. So if you guys don't know what proxies are, check out the video that I did talking about proxies. So like I said, this PC doesn't have the craziest specs out there. For the type of work that I do, it works fine for me. And most of the time whenever I'm editing a 4K video and I want to add a whole bunch of effects and transitions and adjustment layers and just crazy color grading, I use proxies. So it basically converts my 4K files into 720p files. Therefore I can edit and have a really smooth workflow in my editing software, which of course is Premiere Pro. So yeah, but when editing 1080p footage, I could just add a whole bunch of effects without, you know, needing to make proxies. For 1080p videos, I have to say it's a beast. But when editing 4K, I mean, it does handles 4K, but when you start to add a lot of effects and transitions and stuff like that, the computer starts to slow down. But yeah, even though I am gonna be upgrading it pretty soon, I'm gonna upgrade the RAM, the graphics card, and all the stuff. So it's gonna be a beast of a computer. So stay tuned for that. I might do like an update video about that. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so as you can see, that's pretty much all the gear that I use to make these videos. You actually don't need to go out and buy the most expensive camera out there to get started on YouTube. Phone now these days have really great cameras, especially like the iPhone 11 that just came out, or the Galaxy S10, or even like the S7, S8, S9. All those phones have really great cameras. And if you have a phone that's from like 2015 and above, I would have to say those phones already have really great cameras. Like they already shoot in 4K. If they are from like 2015 and above, they already shoot in 4K. So why not just get started with what you already have? You actually don't need to wait on getting the most expensive, you know, A7S III or those type of cameras. Get started with what you already have, and from there just keep improving and improving. So I actually started with a Nikon S6000 camera that only shoots in like 720p. Yeah, gear doesn't really matter. It's the person behind the gear. It's what you know. And yeah, that's just my advice. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.